So it's early portraits of Jesus. What Jesus looked like. Let's have a look.
Baker. Today we're going to look at some of the earliest depictions of Jesus. Over the last 2,000 years, Jesus has been depicted in many different ways. But as I'm sure you know, nowadays he's usually...
Wow, look at all them depictions of him. Give me a second. I mean, wow, Oriental looking. Wow, there is so many. Like, I mean, the black guy looking one, white dude with blonde hair, white dude with brown hair, obviously, like the Robert Powell one, which I always thought the Robert Powell one was blonde. That's like a Mandela to me. Then you've got your blonde one, your alien looking one. Wow. Then you got like Sumerian looking ones, like so many different. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But it's understandable. It's understandable.
depicted as a gentle-looking European with long hair and a beard. Like in this famous 1940 painting of Jesus.
That's a stereotypical view of him. Yeah, stereotypical. Absolutely.
By Warner Salmon. Of course, Jesus wasn't European, though. He was from the Middle East. So, in recent years, there have been...
I know you didn't, Bazza. I just thought I would. Because that film wasn't very long. But yeah, as soon as I've done this, I'm going to hop off the bed.
And attempts by several different artists to show what Jesus really looked like, such as this anthropological reconstruction by Richard Neve. Or there's a photorealistic...
No, I have seen that before. And it does say in the Old Testament that he's not going to be... It says he'll be uncomely, which means ugly. Physically, it won't be anything to look at that your eyes would desire. So basically, it didn't say he'd be a very good-looking man.
Image by Bas Uderwijk. Well, another way to figure out what Jesus might have looked like would be to go back as far as we can to see how he was depicted in art in the first few centuries following his death. So that's what we're going to...
Ooh, that'll be interesting. Looking forward to that. Let's see.
...to do in this video. I'm going to be showing you 10 of the earliest images we have.
No, it's quite a good video, Baz. I'm interested in things like that. Intriguing. Nice one for that, Bazza.
Of Jesus, and I'll be doing it in the form of a countdown.
Whoa. Fungus kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom. What about Jesus' kingdom?
Okay, let's now look at some of the earliest depictions of Jesus in art. I'm going to start with an image that can be found here. This is the St. Catherine's Monastery, located in Egypt near the mountain that is traditionally considered to be...
Looks quite warm, but peaceful.
Mount Sinai.
Well, it's a monastery. It might be a little peaceful.
Also the monastery where the Codex Sinaiticus was found, which I discussed in my video about the oldest Bible manuscripts. However, I mention it now because it also houses this image, considered to be one of...
Yeah, for sure. Didn't want to keep you up. What is it there? Almost 5 a.m. Yeah, it's 4:45 now, bro. I will finish this by quarter past 5. We'll be good. I might cut this part out and put it up as a separate video.
Of the oldest Byzantine icons still in existence, dating to around 550 CE. Now, if you know anything about the history of the Byzantine Empire, aka the Eastern Roman Empire.
The Byzantine? I thought it was the Byzantine. Okay, Byzantine. Yeah.
You'll know that icons were a source...
What's that, Jonah? Fungi. I like it.
Of great controversy. Basically, an icon is a religious image used for worship. In the early medieval period, there were some Byzantine Christians who felt
This kind of portrayal with the halo, it's like sun worship, isn't it? It's the halo, and it's also got like that. I think that might be a Masonic kind of. Well, it's certainly Catholic, isn't it? The way they move the fingers, the way they gesticulate, gesticuflect, or whatever. They might even move the fingers like that. It might even be Masonic. I don't know.
that icons should be used, and others who felt that they should not be used. Well, during most of the 700s into the early 800s, those who felt that they should not be used held sway. And therefore, during those years, many of the oldest images of Jesus were destroyed. However, this particular one survived because it was located in Egypt, which by that time was controlled by Muslims. Now, let me point out two things about this particular depiction of Jesus. First, it is in a style known as the Christ Pantocrator, which to this day is
Christ Pantocrator. Okay. Let's hear what that word is broken down.
quite frequently used in Eastern Orthodox churches. Some of its main features include a halo with a cross in it.
Let me just check something. Pantocrator. See if it comes up as our word. Meaning. Ruler of all. Pantocrator means ruler of all. Yeah, that'd be accurate. That would be accurate. Yeah, ruler of all. Nice.
A New Testament in Jesus' left hand, and his right hand making a very specific gesture.
Yeah. Why would Jesus have a New Testament in his hand?
That represents the letters I, C,
Ah.
X, C, which
So
stands
I
for
did think the hand thing meant something. I did think it was symbolizing something. But yeah, obviously it's the what was above his head, wasn't it?
Jesus Christ. Secondly,
Oh,
this
no,
particular Christ
No.
Pantocrator
My bad. No, it meant Jesus Christ. Okay.
is unique in that there's something special going on with Jesus' face. At first glance, the eyes look a bit weird,
Yeah.
and you might have assumed that the artist was simply not that good. But the reason why the face looks a bit strange
Yeah, it looks like one side is like the before he was tortured, and the other side is after he's tortured. That's what it looks like to me.
is that the artist actually painted two different faces. This becomes clear
Oh, two different faces. I think that was on about. I've heard that the symbol he makes and gestures for Alpha Omega or something. Right? Okay.
if you mirror each side. The reason
Ah,
for this probably has to do with the artist's attempt to symbolize Jesus' supposed dual nature.
duality, like his divinity. Well, his divinity and his human side. Makes sense.
Okay, the next image we're going to look at is located in the Israeli town of Shivta, which is actually not too far from the St. Catherine's Monastery. It too comes from a Byzantine site and dates to around 550. But as we're about to see, it is quite a bit different.
Yeah, that two faces, trippy, isn't it? It is. Pretty trippy, but it's good. It's good. I like it.
For one thing, the image is no longer in very good shape. The church it is located in now lies in ruins, and although the site was investigated in the 1930s, it was only in 2018 that this image was noticed. Here's what it looks like. If you can't see much, I don't blame you. Let me zoom out a bit and add some
Okay.
lines.
I wanted to actually see it without that on it, to see if I could work it out. See, now I know where the lines go, I can work it out.
See much, I don't blame you. Let me zoom out a bit
Right.
and add some lines. So two things stand
It's a little more feminine now, though.
out right away. One is that this Jesus does not have a beard. And
Oh.
two, he appears to have short, curly hair instead of long, straight hair.
Yeah, a little like Annie from the musical.
So Although this image was created around the same time as the previous one, it represents a very different way of depicting Jesus, one that we will see more of the further back in time we go. A good example is the next image I want to show you, which is over 100 years older and comes from the mausoleum of Galla Placidia in Ravenna, Italy. Galla Placidia was the daughter of Emperor.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, that's not a picture of Jesus, is it? With pearls round his neck? What? No, obviously not.
Theodosius I, who was the emperor that made Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. This isn't actually her mausoleum or burial place, though. Rather, it is a chapel that she had built during her lifetime. Luckily, it is very well preserved. Over the north entrance is this colorful mosaic of Jesus as
Jesus with his sheep, with the shepherd, cross staff. Never liked seeing Jesus with halos, though. Never. I mean, the patterns on the ceiling as well are very suspicious.
the Good Shepherd, a theme that comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 10. Once again, note the curly hair and lack of a beard. Next, I want to show you another image from this.
Never have I actually ever thought about that, Jesus without a beard. But yeah, of course, there's images of Jesus without a beard.
Same time period, roughly 425 CE. This is a carving from the doors of Santa Sabina Basilica in Rome, which is the headquarters of the Dominican Order of Catholic Friars. What makes this image particularly important
is meant to be Jesus and the two thieves on the cross.
Is that it is the oldest known image of Jesus on the cross. The other two individuals being the two thieves.
See, and this as well is depicted with a framework. With a framework instead of cross, just like the movie that Robert Powell was in. It was a framework type of thing. I've seen that a couple of times now where it's been depicted as a framework rather than a cross or a tree,
Jesus was traditionally said to be crucified alongside. Here, Jesus once again has a beard, which goes to show that during the 5th and 6th centuries, there was still some variation when it came to how Jesus was depicted. Let's now move from the 5th century to the 4th century, i.e. the 300s CE. Most of the images from this century, as well as any that are even older, are located in catacombs. Catacombs are underground.
Obviously, pictures of Jesus in catacombs. Wow. That's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting. But yeah, some of these depictions, man, I never even thought of them. If I'd seen them without someone saying they were Jesus, I might not. Well, apart from the ones where obvious, like when they're talking about on the cross and stuff like that, and the shepherd. But just to see some of the face, you wouldn't automatically think it's Jesus. Sometimes
burial places. And in ancient Rome, there were many of these. It is often said that early Christians used these catacombs to worship in secret for fear of being persecuted. However, generally,
catacombs isn't that where people are buried? It's places like that. Do you really think they would have worshipped or went to places like that? I mean, maybe if they had no other choice, but it seems a bit strange. Don't know about that, I'm not sure. What's up, Bazza? I've always wondered, those who say Jesus wasn't about, why so many accounts and depictions outside of the Bible. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. You did correct it, I know. Exactly, it's true. It's not just the Bible that records Jesus. Yes, it's the best depictions of Jesus, but come on, it's all over the place. In other books, other textbooks, throughout history, all over the place. In paintings, in art, and in decor art, you know, engravings, pottery, stuff like that, all over the place.
Speaking, this is not actually true. Most of the catacombs were used by early Christians as, well, catacombs.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I wouldn't have thought they would have gone to worship that.
A place to bury the dead.
Yeah.
But what's useful for our purposes is that catacombs were often decorated. And because they were located underground,
I mean, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, though, isn't it? Because the catacombs, like rough stone and all that in there, but it still managed to be decorated like that. Still, the halos. But very cool.
Eventually forgotten, many of the decorations survived longer than those that were located above ground. Take, for example, this next image from the catacombs of Comodilla. Here we have what's likely the oldest surviving image of a bearded Jesus, dating to around 375 CE. What's interesting about this
the oldest one of a bearded Jesus. Okay. Looks more like a king here than Jesus. Looks more like a king. Well, obviously Jesus is king, but you know what I'm saying.
1,650-year-old image is that it's not too far off.
More like the archetype for a king. Like a stereotype of a king, should I say.
From the average image of Jesus we see today. The two symbols on each side of his halo are an alpha and an omega. The
There
first and last letters.
We knew that anyway. Just by looking at alpha and omega. I don't know why I didn't even say that, because I've seen it right now.
Of the Greek alphabet, often used by early Christians to represent the belief that Jesus has existed for all eternity. But take away that halo and the two letters, and we're still left with
Isn't
an
the
image.
omega more of a horseshoe shape now? Isn't the omega symbol more of a horseshoe shape now? Hold on. Omega symbol. Ah, there's two. I see. So, you have that as well. Yeah. So there's two. One must be like I don't know, capital version, and then there's a small version or something. Okay, I just thought there was one way, uppercase and lowercase. Yeah, so it's a lowercase omega. Okay, that's me educated on that now. Cool. I like it.
Most people today would easily identify as being Jesus. However, this is not going to be the case for the images that are even older than this one. This is because originally Jesus was always depicted without a beard. And as we're about to see,
I wonder why he was depicted without a beard originally, when he surely probably would have had a beard. Yeah, I think so, horseshoe. Yeah, they're both the same. They're both the same. One's uppercase, one's lowercase, Baza. Yeah.
he usually just looks like a typical Roman from the time of the Roman Empire.
Kind of looks like a. That's what they do.
Take, for example, this image from the catacombs of Marcellinus and Peter. Here we see a woman.
So that's a woman touching his garment with a powerful left from him. Wow. Crazy looking.
Depicted as touching the edge of Jesus' garment, a story that comes from Mark chapter 5. According to the story, the woman was healed automatically as soon as she touched Jesus' clothes. But what's important to notice is that he is depicted as looking very Roman. Short haircut, no beard.
Yes, that's what I was trying to think. What does he look like? I was thinking he looked a little girly, but yes, it's kind of Roman. Like kind of how my hair goes, like Julius bloody Caesar. He is very Roman there, yeah.
Look what he's wearing. A tunic with stripes over the
Yes,
shoulders.
yes, that's what it reminded me. Of course, how could I even not even have thought of that? That yes, that's a perfect depiction of a Roman, obviously not of Jesus, but it is Jesus, allegedly.
Something that in Roman society was very common and indicated a person of authority. He's also wearing a mantle on top of his tunic, which, take note, is different from a toga. The mantle was actually the more common garment at the time. It was basically just
I thought the mantles on top of the bloody fire.
a sheet that wrapped around a person and served as a simple coat. What's notable about Jesus' mantle, though, is that it has a visible tassel, which is what the woman is touching. This is likely a depiction of a tzitzit, a ritual fringe that Jews wear to this very day.
Right, yeah. We see them a lot, obviously. Is that the same thing Flats has got? Same things Dave's got, or is it different things? They look like that anyway.
So note that Jesus' Jewishness is indicated not by the color of his skin or by his facial features, but by something that he is wearing. The rest of the images we're going to look at all come from the 3rd century, i.e. the 200s CE. This one shows Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Again, we get the short haircut with no beard, combined with a simple tunic and mantle. But this time, he's got a wand. Yep, that's right, a wand, just like Harry Potter. In the Roman Empire during the 3rd century, wands were a symbol of magic, just like they are
So Jesus has got a magic wand. That is a real bad depiction.
today. And to Romans back then, the stories of Jesus healing people and raising people from the dead were understandably seen as being stories about magic. We've now come to our final 3 images. The
Final 3, hey! Let's do it.
3rd oldest image we have of Jesus is from this sarcophagus lid, which is inscribed with the words Severa in Deo vivas. But note that the person shown to the left of the words is not Jesus. That's likely an image of Severa, the woman who was buried in this particular sarcophagus. In Deo vivas means, may you live with God. Jesus is over here.
May you live with God. Jesus is over. The red mark. Hold on.
He's, of course, the baby, being.
The baby. Of course. 3 wise men bring gifts. Star. Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Held by his mother, Mary. Standing behind them is presumably Joseph. And in front of them are the 3 wise men and the Star of Bethlehem. So, yeah, image number 3 is basically a Christmas image. Moving on to number 2, which is this image that comes from the catacomb of Calixtus and dates to around 250 CE. Here, Jesus is once again depicted as being the Good Shepherd, and this time he's wearing a short tunic, the kind a shepherd at that time would have worn. Note that he also looks quite young, as he most likely would have been, considering that he died in his early 30s. You
33, suspected to be.
should also note that seeing a religious figure with a lamb or goat around his neck.
That's what Bazza says. I thought about getting one of those, but changed my mind. The zit. How's it pronounced? It sounds the zit or whatever exactly. The zit. Nah, I mean they look good. I wouldn't wear one or anything, but if someone give me one, I'd hang it up or something like that. No, be cool enough. But yeah, I won't wear it.
Was not something that ancient Greeks and Romans would have found all that strange. In fact, they were quite used to that imagery, as it was commonly used in depictions of the god Hermes, or Mercury. Okay, we've now come to what is very likely the earliest known depiction we have of Jesus. Unlike the last several we looked at, which were all found in Rome, this one was found in Syria, in the ruins of an ancient city called Dura Europos. The Dura Europos site is located on the Euphrates River, near what is today the border between Syria and Iraq. But during the early 3rd century, it was a thriving city and Rome's easternmost stronghold. Luckily for archaeologists, it was abandoned soon thereafter and never rebuilt, and therefore it is a bit of a time capsule. Located at Dura Europos is the oldest church ever found, as well.
The oldest church. So it must be an apostolic church then.
As one of the oldest synagogues. Both contain
synagogue.
artwork. So
synagogue, not a church, okay.
Not only does Dura Europos give us the earliest known depiction of Jesus, it also gives us the earliest known depictions of many other Bible characters too, such as Abraham, Moses, and David. But in this video, we are focusing on Jesus. So without further ado, let me reveal to you the oldest known image we have of Jesus. This image is based on a story that is told in all...
Pick up your bed and walk. I wonder if that's what it is. Pick up your bed and walk. It kind of looks like that, but I'm wondering if this is when he heals the lame guy. It's been in bed all that time. I wonder. Let's see. I think, you think it's meant to cover your head when you pray? Oh, of course it is, yeah. It's my grace. It's my grace. And I like to pray to baby Jesus. Yeah, bro. Right, so I wonder if this is about that. Pick up your bed and walk.
3 of the Synoptic Gospels, in which a paralyzed man is lowered down through a roof so that Jesus can heal him, which he does. So on the left, you can see the now...
And in mind, I got that from that. I mean, if you didn't know the stories, you wouldn't get it, obviously. If you didn't know the Bible. Or is he lower on the couch through the roof? Yeah, of course, yes. Right enough.
Healed man carrying his bed. And on the right, you can see Jesus in his typical Roman form. Short hair, no beard, simple tunic and mantle. Our best guess is that this image dates to around 235 CE. So basically, we have nothing from the first 200 years after Jesus' death. Well, not quite. There's actually one more bonus image that I want to show you.
Bonus image, dong dong dong. Bonus image, dong dong dong. Here we go.
I didn't include it on the main list because it doesn't actually show Jesus' face. This is actually a piece of graffiti made by a non-Christian in order...
Graffiti back in the day, eh? Wow, it looks like someone on the cross and their head's a horse. Wow.
In order to poke fun at someone named Alexamenos, who was a Christian. The words, written in Greek and scratched below the image, read, Alexamenos worships his god. Depicted on the left is presumably Alexamenos, and on the right is Jesus hanging on the cross, but with the head of a donkey.
Donkey! So I said horse, but yeah. So taking the piss.
Which was obviously meant as an insult. To non-Christians at the time, it seemed absurd for anyone to worship someone that had been crucified. And this graffiti expresses that sentiment.
I mean, I like his hands. They're just like round bits with sticks coming off the end. Lovely hands.
Okay, so that was a look at some of the earliest depictions of Jesus. If you know of any that I've missed, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Baz, I thought that was pretty good. Nice one for that, girl. That was excellent. That was excellent. I like that. Fantastic. Fantastic. Right, that's it then, guys. That's it. That's me done for the night. I will get it done now. And I will give you a link for tomorrow night. Give you guys a link for tomorrow night. And well, for tonight, haven't I? Sorry, tonight. I already did earlier. Solve's on, by the way. I'm going to just let this process, and I'll cut that bit out as a video and put it up as a premiere later. Right, so yeah, there's a link for tonight one. It's a Skeeter Jean one, and then the movie The Creator, and then a documentary on Kurt Cobain. There you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Even historical graffiti shows Jesus was about. Graffiti. Even though it was taking the piss, it still shows he was about historical graffiti. And what do people graffiti on the walls? Usually how they feel, what they see, truth, maybe, sometimes. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I get you. Nice one. Anyway, guys, bless yous, love yous, thanks for being with me. There's the link, and I will see you very, very soon.